prove it, I'm ready to do it, I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now, I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time.
All right, so Oren, we are very excited to be here today in the iGaming Spotlight clip here together with Oren. You're the CEO of DelaSport, of course, and we're talking here before the recording about the technology advancements. Obviously, you have a long background as a CTO and as a developer yourself, and very techie. And so I'm just very curious before we jump into the outline here to start asking you, do you think these recent developments in AI and in tech in general could be a potential disruptor in the sports betting side of the industry?
Yeah, I think, first of all, thank you for having me. I think for certain, not just for sport, for the iGaming in general, and any other e-commerce or any other organization that use tech, bear in mind that it's not so very new. Stuff like chatbot that exists for a few years are also AI-based with rules. Google search, machine learning, etc. Yeah. So it's what we see now. It's another step in terms of how easy it is to use these technologies in order to create new applications, new services, etc. Which we are really in the dawn of a new revolution.
Right, that's interesting. And I suppose like one of the low-hanging fruits here is to kind of automate through machine learning and predicting what odds are going to be set at future matches in different sports, and also for in the purpose of live, I suppose you'll be able to offer a lot more wider selection of it. Like this is kind of the low-hanging fruit here, I suppose.
Yeah, well, at the end, the technology itself, it's a mean. Yes. You need to use it in the best way possible in order to solve some kind of a challenge. Yes. That will be a business challenge. How do you do a better risk management? How do you personalize experiences? How you recommend and complement product or services, or it doesn't matter if you are Amazon or if you're Netflix or any digital organization or service that serve customers, whatever the type, will need to use this technology to the best way in order to cater their consumers.
Absolutely, and something related to this, of course, which we're going to focus on today, is personalization within the iGaming industry. And for those of us who've been in the industry for a long time, certainly yourself, you know that there is a lot of operators out there in the world, and the offering is quite similar to each other. The games are the same and so on, and so the operators' products are becoming more and more commoditized, let's say. And you guys with DelaSports are talking about kind of, in order to stand out as an operator, you need to focus on personalization. So can you talk a little bit more about the current state of personalization of the industry? And not only you guys have talked about this, it's a bit of a buzzword in the industry.
Correct.
But how do you guys approach personalization, and how do you see the state of the industry so far in that regard?
Yeah, in iGaming and DelaSport in specific, it was easy. We weren't the pioneer in that. You have such a big organization, e-commerce ones like Amazon and Netflix that touch this type of technology and practice that for years now. It is surprising, that the fact that you don't find so many B2Bs or B2Cs that have their own platform exercising personalization enough, which doesn't really make sense. Digitally, you have a lot of information that you can collect implicitly from the players in terms of what they like to bet on, what they like to play. Mm-hmm. But you can also do things that are explicit. If you take Netflix example, right after the first journey, you register, you deposit using your credit card, you subscribe, and immediately they ask you with this questionnaire that they show you a matrix of different titles, TV series or movies, and they try to understand immediately what is your flavor, because they have no information about you yet. And immediately the homepage is suited to your flavors. From here after, they perfect it in terms of what you like to watch, because they measure everything, what you binge, what you bounce, everything. So we took the same approach. We didn't interfere with the first important journeys. So after the first deposit, according to the traffic source, we pop up whether if it's a questionnaire for a sports book, or for whether it's for casino, and we just ask them, what do you like? Which sports you like, which leagues, which tournament, which sports athletes. And it's quite fun. So it doesn't matter if everybody is a fan of some kind of sport or some kind of athlete or team. So it's quite fun thing to do anyway, to just select what you like, because it's like a questionnaire for yourself. Same like Netflix, just to find the Quentin Tarantino game that a movie story that you like, or a House of Cards or whatever. So here you choose which sports, and immediately the homepage is tailored to you, which makes it a novelty idea. Why should I show you different sports when you don't care about? Let's show you only what you care about as a service. Yeah, personalization here moves from buzzword into actual application. Let me show you only what you care about, and that will allow you to bet and find your teams or athletes faster, so you can do your business faster. It just makes sense.
Right, because you talked earlier about this as well, this shift in Netflix or other platforms where traditionally we would search for what we are looking for, but there's a shift here happening through personalization of those platforms where you don't really search that much anymore, you get more served. But can you talk more about that?
Yes, correct. If you look at Netflix, obviously it's a technological company, right?
Yeah.
And they are in the entertainment and movies and TV series, and they have originals today, and they do a lot of purchase of TV series from all around the world. But if you look at the end, they are based on technology. I don't think you, as a Netflix consumer, you will ever find the time where doesn't matter if you are on 3G, on a crappy Wi-Fi, it works. Every time it works. You want to continue to watch what you started. It started 3 seconds before where you stopped, just to keep you in context. It just works. So technology behind it, they moved from, it's like the Nokia story. Once upon a time, there was a Blockbuster. And people went to the gas station and took DVDs. So they started with, sending, posting you the movies. And then they moved with the internet revolution to online. But they didn't stop there. It started with the 90% search and moved to less than 10% these days. So most of the consumers doesn't search for content. They are recommended by them because they have so much know-how. And this is the machine learning behind it. This is the use of the technology from what your peers like. So, for example, if you are from Sweden, they will show you this is the top 10 in Sweden. Now, it doesn't mean that you most necessarily like these titles, but this is what your peers, or culturally, this is what the trend today. But then there is specific for you according to what you watch. So same here. If we can allow you with, take casino as an example. So many games, inflation of slots games. From the 400 or so studios out there, you have about 150 new games a month. So even if you are, an operator that like to have all the games out there, your consumer cannot imagine, even if they are early adapter, they cannot consume all this content. And also, if they want to consume, what does it tell them? They go to the website, they see wolf, they see a pyramid, they see carnival. What they understand from it? What is the game? Does the game mechanics is for them, not just the theme. The number of reels. Is it a jackpot game? Is it a mega ways game? Is it a volatile game? It really depends, because in casino you have some that like the time on device. They just like for €10 to play for 1 hour. Starburst type of game.
Yeah.
Why would you ask them, what do you like? Like Netflix. The same. Use this technology to allow them and recommend to them the content that relevant for them.
I have a great example of this just from my own life here, how to solidify your point here. It's a great point, by the way, that we have moved our habits from searching for what we want to kind of get served, and for the machine learning and the algorithms to kind of predict what we like. And so in our case, the other week we were trying to find a movie to watch, and in this case the Netflix algorithm failed us. We couldn't find anything. And so we found this website that had a questionnaire, and it was gonna find you a movie to watch. So it asked you some questions: how many are you? Are you a couple watching a movie? Da, 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 da. And it went down the list, and we filled in this form. And the first suggestion it gave us was the perfect suggestion, the best movie in the world, which we had forgotten about, which is, of course, Free Willy, which we ended up watching. Fantastic example, a movie we would have never thought about before. But it's a great point to solidify here that it's hard to know what you want in an inflated kind of casino games world, as you mentioned, with tens of thousands of games, of course. But if through algorithms you can predict or can serve you games, then of course it's gonna make wonders for retention, especially, I would assume.
Yes, you have. I recommend there is Dr. Schwartz. There is this TED talk about this researcher that he called it the paradox of choice. I don't know if you recall when you were young and you went to a bus. If you have 1-2 places, you just sit in one of them, that's it. But if it's empty, you say, where should I sit? Also in iGaming, so many games, so many sports, so many fixtures, so many tournaments, so many leagues. How do you cater the consumer? With the best place for him to bet. So you need to narrow down. This is exactly where. It used to be, this platform has 100,000 pre-match events and 70,000 this. And I think now, everybody have access to the same content. Now, instead of bragging about these numbers, which doesn't mean nothing for you as a consumer, let's see how I take all this information and make it available for you, specifically for you. So you will have, you can conduct your business fast. It's just the same as moving from, should I go now to drive to the library? Is it open? I need to take these books. I need to start to read. How do I find the content in the books? So then you move to Google that did a lot for you. I mean, all the data is there, including books. You just need to search. They even went the extra mile with acquiring YouTube, so they can also search within videos and lectures and whatever, just from everything related to search. But still, you need to invest a lot of time as a person, right? It's it's easier, but still hard. And then, as you mentioned, ChatGPT. Yeah. Just right here what you need, and we'll try to, the other day, I asked the $1 million question. I asked the ChatGPT, one of the versions, I asked, who will win if Superman and Batman will fight? Then you have Superman fans and you have the Batman fans.
Right.
So it started like this, always with disclaimer. So this is imaginary, fictionalized characters. But if they will,
Superman must win.
Batman will win.
What? Batman?
Yes, yeah.
No
so
way.
And then it explains. It's a machine. So it explains, but it's explained like the explanation. So it says that Batman, Superman is more powerful.
Yes.
But Batman knows to exploit one's weaknesses. So it's actually written, you can check it. He will obtain kryptonite and he will prevail. This is ChatGPT. I mean, brilliant. It's not so they look for so many information and the way that they digest the content. So look, Google doesn't digest. Google crawl, give you with the rank, give you a lot of information with the, it's revolution by itself. But then when you take this digestion and understand what people commented on it, it's like, it's amazing. Take an example, like this is less for this one, but a black and white image with, this beach ball,
Yes.
with these colors. And you ask the machine to color it. They will color it like the most of these balls out there. So they will differentiate, they will look which objects are in this. It's a machine. It's not like you. You're looking at it, you see beach and you see a ball. You would color it yourself very easily. A child will do that.
Yes.
But a machine is doing it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. We should ask ChatGPT what came first, the chicken or the egg. I think that would be an interesting question. So Oren, back to kind of personalization within the operator side of things. You talk about the paradox of choice. If you have too many choices, it gets more difficult to actually make the choice. And is this part of the mistake that the operators are doing today to attract and to retain players, or what other mistakes are they doing today? Do you think?
I would say if you go to the basics, every player wants to bet or play on what they like. It's entertainment, it's a sense of thrill or whatever. So what the operator wants, they want to cater the players. So this is the basics, right? Fact is that the players are not very loyal. I used to have a boss called Ralph Topping from the CEO of William Hill. So we talked about the loyalty of players, etc. So back then we took it for granted. They're not loyal. That's it. So in a way, the industry didn't cope very well, because if it's determined in this way, they're not loyal, that's it. You don't do nothing. You just keep on bringing them from acquisition point of view. But the fact is that there's a lot to do. And other e-commerces did it. So I would say from the technology point of view, if everybody have the same access to the same content, same games, same sports, so it must be something related to the service on top. And it cannot be just, your brand. Brand counts, right? You get trust, etc. But it cannot stay just there. So it's a matter of service, and it's multi-dimensional thingy. It's from the customer support and how you've been catered. It's from the automatic withdrawal and fast withdrawals, not just fast deposits. It's how fast I can find my game, the games that I like. Or if I want to change, can you recommend me a game that will be relevant for me, or same for sports betting? How you make it more simple for me to conduct my business? Because at the end, recreationally or not, they are coming to conduct business. You go to Amazon, you go to buy something. I'm sure you're not just, okay, let's take a look, what is interesting. You want to buy something to your friend, to you, whatever. So also here, when they come and consume as a digital consumers, they want to find and to conduct the business as fast as possible. This is where you move from, and this is what I said, the paradox of choices. If you can narrow down to what it's relevant for them, the chances for you to retain them getting higher. So there is a phrase that comes from Netflix, not for me. It says personalization equal retention. But personalization is just one dimension. It's not the only dimension. You need to keep on being innovative in terms of how you serve this content. And we do other things as well in this regard in DelaSport.
Very interesting. I like that quote. Personalization equals retention. It's a good quote. I like it.
Let me give you an example. You buy nice shoes. You go to the shoe shop. Yes. If you don't buy online, so if you go land-based.
Mostly my girlfriend, but yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
If you go to land-based, it doesn't matter in retail. And the guy remember you. Say, oh, Pierre, how is these Italian shoes that you bought? I said, no. You were like amazed. How can you remember? So many people entered to this shop. And he will remember, yeah, and you went to your friend's wedding. I said, yeah, I did. How was the wedding? This is personalization. He catered you personally. He remembered you. He remembered what you purchased, and you feel unique. You know these Caesarean penguins. There is this very famous in Antarctica, very famous images where you see all the juveniles. One are gray. They didn't develop this feather, and then you have one that is grown up and it's like shine and stand out in the crowd. So everybody like to feel in this way. So in digital, it's much easier. You were surprised about the guy in retail because how can he remember? It's like so many people and that comes in and out and what they bought before. How can he remember? But in digital, all the information is there, right? So it's a novel idea to use a technology to allow a better service to the players.
If we really break it down to its foundation, what we're talking about here is essentially to remove friction. That is the core of this, right? It's whether there is innovation in payments, Trustly launching pay and play, which basically make it easier to go from visiting the website to start playing. And what you're talking about here as well is serving content that the players want. It's removing friction essentially. It leads you closer to the experience.
Correct.
Without having to use too much thought.
Correct.
Same with Netflix as well. This is removing friction that we're talking about here.
Correct. Because if you have something that's relevant for you, look. Most of us are busy. Our brain is a lazy muscle. We like to be catered as fast as possible, conduct our business. So from that point of view, just before ICE, I looked for something to watch, right? So I looked at for the flight. I looked for Netflix. I saw this new TV series about this 15, I think, tennis players. And the journey, not necessarily I think it's tier 2 or tier 1 wannabes tennis players. I downloaded it. I watched it over in the flight. Just bullseye. Exactly what I like. And the way that Netflix realized that is because they saw that I saw the Jordan one, I saw Formula 1, so it increased the odds that I will like this one. What else do you want from a service? It's like perfect, and it works. And the fact that you can download and watch where you're offline, it's very clever. So this is where you hooked to a service. So this is every business dream. How can I make repeated consumers continue do the business with me?
Yes.
It sounds like simple. It's not. It's something that you must work in order to make it happen, and the businesses that will not do that will disappear. If you will ask someone 25 years ago if Nokia will disappear, what you're talking about? They're just growing. It's keep on the pace on this and use these technologies to cater consumer better and respect them. It's all coming from the fact, how do I cater you better? Because I respect you and I respect your business with me.
Yes.
If you ask this question every time you go to the office, every day, every hour, every feature, filter it into that filter, you will do good.
Yeah, I like that. So speaking about that, Oren, if we now go into DelaSport, and how do you guys approach personalization and removing friction? We talk a lot about this here today, but what do you guys actually do in order to bring the industry closer to this personalized experience?
Yeah, so we have something that we call My Era. So this is like a bombastic. It's a marketing.
Good marketing thing.
Yeah, we look for something that is like catchy, and we called it My Era. And the reason is we thought about the players. And this is digital players, digital consumers. And any digital consumer out there today is empowered. They are empowered because they can very easily move from one brand to another. They are empowered. So from that point of view, it's like the me time, my era. So they even subconsciously, if they go to a website, a gaming website, even subconsciously, they will ask them, well, why should I do my business with you? And if this answer is weak, in the first friction, they are out. They are out because there is more like you. There is also a fact that there is almost 3 accounts for each player in Europe. 3 accounts, they are moving around. So to cater them better, one option is one dimension is the personalization, as I mentioned. Now, one would say, why do you ask them? Just take a threshold and understand if they played a certain game more than these rounds. or they bet on this on football this amount of times. On money line, correct score, whatever, you can learn over time. This is actually something that technology can do for you. It's there. Problem is that doesn't stay long enough for you to conclude what they like. Some of them are going away after a few bets or few days yeah. So in order for you to cater them faster, right on, this is why we took this approach and have this what we call my sports book. Just tell us immediately which sports you like, which teams, which leagues, etc. The same on my casino. Just tell us, what do you like? In the casino world, it's really split to two. You have the recreational ones, just let me kill an hour, small wins, frequent ones, and then you have the high volatile or the high rollers. So they don't want to see wins. This is where, by the way, data kicks in. You can see someone that is a high roller. You will find him playing on a high volatility game. So you will see him 10 rounds, 20 rounds without a win. They are pumped up because they know that it's coming.
Right. And
then you will find them also ramping up their bet, the wager, because they know it's coming. They are looking for the big ones. Totally two different type of players. Still within the responsible gambling.
Yeah. Which one do you fall into?
Yes. I would say somewhere on the middle.
Sorry, the middle.
Yeah, which is quite unique. It's
right.
It's either this or that, because if you see most of the game are either low volatility and high volatility. For me, it's more about the mechanics in terms of the inside bonus game that you want to reach and play, which is also a very interesting mechanism. So why not asking them? Just ask them. Just think about the Netflix experience. Now think about iGaming experience. Why do I need to click on a game, wait for it to load, play a few rounds just to understand that it's not for me? It's stupid, right? When you think about it, because we do know in the industry what is the parameters of this game. So if we ask them, what do you like? If you are a recreational player, let's just show you Starburst and the like, because the chances for you to be happy and consume the service without frictions, it's higher. Just think about a recreational player that hit the game with high volatility. He will start to play 10 rounds. The game is killing him. It's opposed to the high roller. The high roller is pump up. This one is like in despair. It kills me. It's not good. Yeah. So it's not related. The operator is not the manufacturer of the game, but the operator and the platform are obliged to use this data in order to cater them better. Simple.
Yeah, interesting. So similar to the questionnaire that I found, that I filled out to find myself to Free Relay. Essentially, you are doing the same approach here through the My Sportsbook with the questionnaire in order to then be able to recommend the right games, and same on the casino side of things. You also have the second product, which is the My Event Builder as well, which I found was really interesting. It's something I suppose I haven't seen before, where you essentially can take two separate teams that are playing in different leagues in football, for example, and actually bet them against each other, even though they don't play a game in real life. Can you talk about that product quickly as well?
Yes, this one also is coming from the fact that we published a very interesting, it's like a 2-part article about the history of sports betting. It's 2 parts because it's quite lengthy. And we did another thing. We put it also visually, like this ruler, this chronological time of when pre-match started, where bet builder started, where the cash out started, when in play started, over time. And what you will see when it's visual is that there's not a lot that's going on in sports betting in the recent years. In the casino, we saw the live casino, and we saw the mega ways. So there's still things that going on because there's a lot of competition between the different providers as they're fighting for real estates. In sports betting, you will still see things that are more traditional, and the sports bettors are not being catered as the casino players. Now, we took that fact and we took another fact that everybody has the same content. So what can you do extra for the players? So one thing that we came up with is this my event builder, and here again the my word. What we did here is allowing the punters to mix and match. So to take two teams that are not playing against each other, so we have it football, basketball, etc., to take two teams that are not playing in real life against each other, and to combine a new sports event. Now, why it's interesting? It's interesting because if you look, okay, you can tell me, Oren, there is a virtual sport. But yes, virtual sport, it's fully RNG. It's no different than slot game. And yes, there is fantasy. But again, fantasy, it's fantasy. And sports bettors really appreciate real life. There's a reason why they are in sports. They want to watch and see with their own eyes. There is cameras, there is regulations, they trust it. They want to bet on sports, whether if they are a fan or whether if they are sports bettors. So here you allow them to create a truly new event. And as an example, you can have a Manchester derby, you can have Juventus versus Milan in real life. And you can now take City playing versus Juventus in a virtual event that is based on two real life events. And you can bet on any market. So we compile the odds automatically, all the markets, and you have a new event which is yours. So if you get that and you get the personalization that we mentioned before, and you look at one of our operators, and you look at 1,000 on the back the back shoulder of 1,000 players, if they are engaged with these features, you will see a different home pages. On this one you will see basketball, the other one you will see football. This one created this event by himself, this one created that event by itself, and then you have personalized service for these players, which is, I think it's great.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it. Final question for me to you today, Oren, is first of all, like, how has the reception of the MyEra product line been so far? And then finally as well, do you have any plans to continue to build on these products and to continue to enhance these products that you've now created?
Yes, absolutely. So first of all, we have several more features that are related to this type of notion. One of them is the if bet. So this is something that you can create sequential events and you can connect between them. So you would say if the previous game, the Derby one, City won, take my bet. You can take the bet and the win and add it as a new wager to a second event. So you can have sequential events in this way. Again, another way to bet. The same events. We didn't change the fact that it's the same event, same content, but we added new way of betting to, you can say, increase the betting experience. So we use this a lot. Betting experience, player experience. So this is something that we do day to day. We moved from what it used to be product-centric into player-centric, into your-centric, into you. It's what I'm doing. So one of the things that we do also, it's we have a full player engagement suite that it's not just for casino, but also for sports bettors. What did they get till now? Free bets, cashback. That's it for years, decades now. So now our operators can use tournaments and missions and so many ways to interact with them in real time and engage with the players and give them extra. So this MyEra that I mentioned, it's the extra era. People, consumers, as they are empowered, they look what you give me extra. And extra can be fast withdrawal. Extra can be my event builder. It's a different way to bet. Extra can be I'm finding what to bet on very quickly. Extra can be I'm having a mission to have a combo bet and win it, and then I will get something. Even if you do that on subconscious point of view, we like to be catered. We like to get extras. And this is something that we keep on doing, and we get a very good response from it. Because at the end, you want to retain your players. You want to retain them to have what is called longevity, increase the longevity and the lifetime value. And these features that are based on technology, this is the future. Whomever will not use it, they're really risking from being irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. It's the dinosaurs of the future, essentially.
Yeah.
Oren, it's been a pleasure to have you on here today. I'm a very big fan of something called first principles thinking, and this is basically when we kind of break down concepts into the very core to understand what is the kind of fundamental truth behind things. And I really I'm a big fan of the way you break things down here today to understand why it is that you pursue personalization, why it is important, and what's the kind of core and foundation behind the concept that you're creating here. So once again, Oren, it's been a pleasure to have you on here today. It was also great to visit the football event that you held a couple of months ago. So thank you for that as well. I hope I'm invited to the next one.
You will.
Brilliant.
Of course.
Until then, thank you so much, Oren.
Thank you, Pierre.